Everybody, welcome back to the Spurs 9501 podcast. This is Ray in London with Cam in Georgia, your regular host of the show. Welcome back. We've got a lot to talk about this week after some compelling developments in the Tottenham Hotspur saga. A couple of things we want to talk about. Firstly, potentially the big Greek Ange Postecoglou coming to Tottenham as a manager. Strong rumours here that he's be joining as a manager. And secondly, rumours about Harry Kane going to Real Madrid now that Karim Benzema is leaving the club. So welcome back, Cam. How you been keeping? Thanks again for all your time to talk to our fans and all our subscribers. How you been keeping?
Good, thank you. And thanks for having me back. I always enjoy this.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to have you, Cam. So tell me first, I can't stop laughing about this, but Ange Postecoglou, the Celtic manager, to be fair to him, he's done the treble there. He's won the double a couple of times. He's managed in Japan, and I think he's managed in Australia as well, Australian national team. What's your initial thoughts about Ange potentially becoming Tottenham's manager, being named either today or tomorrow or Tuesday?
Firstly, let's just deal with the treble issue, because I think that's the most important one. Manchester City are about to get close to winning the treble now. Last time an English club won the treble, especially when it really matters, such as the Champions League and being part of that treble, was in 1999. So it should be something very, very special. I believe that Celtic have won the treble in Scotland in the last 8 seasons, something like 6 or 7 times. So let's just get it into perspective, shall we? This is not Pep Guardiola winning the treble or Sir Alex Ferguson winning the treble. This is Ange Postecoglou doing what most Celtic managers do in their sleep. Is that fair?
Yes. Well, I mean, it's an opinion, but the flip. Let me try and be devil's advocate. He can only beat what's in front of him, and if the rest of the league is weak and Rangers are not doing anything, that's not his fault. He can only pick a team to win, and if they win, they win.
Absolutely not his fault. You are playing managers that none of us have ever heard of. You're playing teams none of us have ever heard of. You're playing in a division none of us have ever heard of. This is hardly world class, is it? What we are talking about is there used to be 2 teams in Scotland. There are now is only one because of Rangers. I mean, Rangers have gone, since they had all their struggles and stuff, never really come back. And it's almost like playing against yourself. It's like you, Ray, at home, playing football, scoring a load of goals and giving yourself a few cups and calling yourself the greatest. Well, what can we say? I mean, if you scored 20,000 goals at home, does that put you in the Guinness Book of Records? Maybe, I don't know. But what does it mean for you as a footballer? Absolutely nothing.
So what level is Ange Postecoglou in terms of managerial pedigree and what level he is and what he can do? Just give our fans and our subscribers some idea of what you think, what level he is.
Well, my view is this very, very clearly. Look, personally, I have no problems with Ange Postecoglou. I have no problems with Tottenham looking for a hungry coach coming in from somebody, an unknown coach. I have no problems with that. Arsenal did it with Arsene Wenger. We did it to a large extent with Mauricio Pochettino, albeit he came in from Espanyol. He was a World Cup player with Argentina. He was a great defender. He played. So maybe it's different. But how old were they, Ray, when they came in to make their name? When the young, hungry managers came in? Yeah, were they 57?
I think
where the hell was Ange Postecoglou when he was 35, 40, 45 as a manager? Who was he? Where has he made his name? You're telling me we're bringing in a hungry 57-year-old? You might as well bring me in. For God's sake. It's not like I mean, if someone's coming into the Premier League to make their name, I want somebody hungry, maybe in his late 30s, maybe in his 40s, who's got something to prove. Where's this guy been? He came in from nowhere. He's been at Celtic, fantastic job. Maybe I'm wrong. Please prove me wrong. But the fact is, a 57-year-old now coming in to prove that he's going to be a young, hungry manager, I don't buy it.
Well, age is just a number, Cam. I mean, he could be 67. Look at Roy Hodgson. He's 75. He won 3-4 of his last 5 games. What's age got to do with it?
Bring in Roy Hodgson then. I mean, why are we the point is here, this is Tottenham knee-jerking once more, right? I hope, please prove me wrong, fans, please. Ange Postecoglou prove me wrong. I hope you go in, get us top 4, win something, get us all the cups that you promised and everything else, right? But what I think is Ange Postecoglou is going to be bent over and spanked very badly when he plays in the big boy leagues. Right now, that you talk about Roy Hodgson, but Roy Hodgson's a proven big league player, big league manager. Sorry, as is Sam Allardyce, as is Sean Dyche, as is all of these people. As Postecoglou comes to us from the pedigree of the Australian League, or the pedigree of the J League. I haven't got a problem with that. If he was maybe in his early 40s, if he was like an up-and-coming manager, this is a guy who should be getting ready to retire, for God's sake. What are we talking about here, right? Really? And this is my point. What was Ange Postecoglou doing in his 30s? What was he doing in his 40s? What was he achieving then? To tell me that he's won the treble at 57 with Celtic is you kicking a ball in your backyard and presenting yourself with a cup in my books.
But let me give you another manager who started. I'm sorry, I can't stop laughing at your analogies. But let me give you another manager who started with the Scottish team, came to England and did pretty well, I think. A certain Sir Alex Ferguson was manager.
Was he 57?
I don't, so it's purely an age thing. It's not the fact that he's coming from. If he was 44 and coming from the Celtic, you wouldn't have an issue. It's purely his age that you don't think it's causing an issue.
That is wrong. What I have an issue with is what did this man achieve in those years coming up?
Okay, I got it. Okay, so
he's now at 57. Here, finally hitting the big leagues to prove something, right?
Yeah. So okay,
that is a young, hungry manager. Now, what did he actually do when he was in his 40s and his 50s that he made him so great and famous? That is my point.
Okay, I got it. Okay, makes sense now. Yeah. So basically, you're saying in his early formative years, he didn't actually achieve anything to give him a chance. So now he's getting his chance at an older age, and you don't think it's
because
suitable.
He's achieved something in the Mickey Mouse League. When the only people he's got to play against in reality is himself.
So I mean,
name me one other team. Rangers are pretty crap right now. Any other team outside of that would
I'm not familiar with the Scott.
That would make it into our third division.
No. So what level do you think he is? So is it like hiring somebody like Paul Higginbottom from Sheffield United to take over? Is it similar to that then?
I think it's similar to hiring the Luton, that Southampton manager that Southampton hired. What was his name?
Oh, Nathan Jones.
Yes.
Oh.
And they struggled at first. What happened to him?
They fired him.
Exactly. This is where I'm worried about. Now, my view is this a better hire than it's
Nuno?
What's his name? Nuno.
Nuno. I'm asking you, what do you think?
Well, Nuno was a proven manager in the Premier League. Is this better? I hope two things. I hope this guy comes in and sets the world on fire. If he's done it in Celtic, he ain't done it before then, as far as I know. Maybe he's done it something else. But if this is our ambition, getting a 57-year-old has-been to come in and prove something, then all power to Tottenham Hotspurs.
But Cam, let me
better than Nuno. I think that I find it very difficult to see, because at least we could see with Nuno, we didn't like him, we didn't like his style of football, we didn't like anything else, but he achieved something with Wolves, and he kept them up. He actually got them up to 7th in the Premier League.
And he actually beat Tottenham at White Hart Lane as well, didn't he? 3-1.
Yeah,
so
he did.
So let me ask you something, Cam. The thing is that, do you think the fact that he plays attacking 4-3-3 football, a nice brand of football, okay, we're not going to win anything, but if he plays nice attacking football and the crowd is happy, we win some, we lose some, we finish about 7th or 8th, is that about our expectation now?
Well, it must be, just by the fact that we're going for a 57-year-old manager who's won the treble by playing against himself. I play attractive football, 4-3-3. I'll give you that. What the hell does that mean? What the hell does that mean?
Another thing is, he's also a very communicative guy. He talks really well. He'll communicate with the fans. Yeah. It'll be a more open type of management. Doesn't that stand for something?
It does, of course, because he did it in the Portuguese league. He did it in the French league. You know, when he was in his 40s and his 50s, he did it in the Bundesliga. He did a great job there, didn't he? And then he built himself up to Celtic and won the treble. We could see that progression, couldn't we? Not. Mm-hmm. This is where I'm coming from. You come in, you take, all right, who's the other person who won the treble at Celtic? Let's see. Oh, I know, Brendan Rodgers.
Yeah, and he won the FA Cup with Leicester.
He did, yeah. Would you have Brendan Rodgers?
No, I wouldn't have Brendan Rodgers. No.
But you'll have Ange Postecoglou.
I didn't say I wanted Ange Postecoglou. I'm saying it looks like it's going to happen once he becomes a manager. Obviously, we're 100% behind him. He's a
Do
Tottenham
you
manager.
want Ange Postecoglou?
I don't want Ange Postecoglou, no. But then I feel like Nagelsmann, Nagelsmann, Enrique, and these guys are not going to come. Arne Slot turned us down. We can't find anybody that's prepared to work with Daniel Levy. So if Ange is prepared to come, then all kudos to him. At least he's saying, look, I'll give it a chance.
Okay.
The chances are probably that he's going to fail. Yeah, you can. Yeah. Of course you can.
Would you prefer Ryan Mason to Ange Postecoglou?
No.
Why?
I'd have Ange Postecoglou because Mason, it doesn't. At least Postecoglou's got a lot more experience than Mason. Mason's got nothing. Okay. Just managing academy teams, been following people. Look at the last few games we played. We lost 3-1 at home to Brentford. He was out tacticked by Thomas Frank. I'd have Thomas Frank as manager, definitely.
Why would he come to Spurs?
Yeah, that's the thing, you see. Why would they anyway? So at least we found somebody that's actually prepared to come to Spurs.
Well, I mean, the thing I read today about Ange Postecoglou was that he took over Celtic when all the players were in revolt. No one knew what they were doing. They had no direction. They had no idea. Their management was bad. The board was disgusting. Everything was bad. And he turned them around. But what did he have to take on? Did he have the Guardiolas? Did he have the Ten Hags? Did he have the Arteta? Did he have the Klopps to play against? Was it the managers that he had to compare? And now we've got Pochettino that we've got to fight against. You know, did he have those? No. Name me one other manager in Scotland. Does anyone even know their names?
No, I don't even know the manager of the Rangers manager. But this is this is what we've come to now. This is a cheap hire. He's on a 1 month. He's on a 1 year rolling contract with Celtic. So the compensation.
So even they didn't
want any compensation.
Even they didn't want to keep him too long.
Yeah, he's got no backroom staff.
How did they do in the Champions League? Did they get knocked out in the group stages?
Yeah,
or even
they got knocked out. Yeah, they did get knocked out. But then we didn't do that great in Champions League. Okay, final thoughts on.
But they were a crap team.
Yeah. Final thoughts on Ange Postecoglou, and then we move on to Harry Kane. What do you think? Final thoughts?
My final thought, sorry to interrupt you, my final thought on Ange Postecoglou is this, that we as a club would be better off joining the Scottish division than Ange Postecoglou joining Tottenham Hotspurs in the Premier League. That is my final view. If we're that low and that slow, let's move to Edinburgh. That's all I can say.
Okay, perfect. Okay, Cam, let's move on to another subject, the second subject we want to talk about, which is Harry Kane. Karim Benzema have said he's not going to be staying at Real Madrid. He's going to be moving to Saudi. You know, obviously, Real Madrid will be interested in Kane, a number 9. What do you think is going to happen? Do you think that if they come in for a bid with Kane that he's going to go or not? What do you think?
Well, if he's going to go anywhere, I want him to go to Real Madrid. I don't want to see him playing against Spurs in the Premier League. I'm sorry to have to say it, but I don't want him anywhere near the Premier League. And I agree with that's the only thing I could ever agree with Levy on. Secondly, what I would say is it would just give Levy another £90 million or whatever it is to squander on absolutely nothing, or hand it over to Ange Postecoglou to bring over his players from Celtic. Because somehow, apparently Celtic have got some great players that we all need because, you know, they're so good at winning cups. My view is he's got to go. I mean, what can I say? I mean, it's too much. It is an ultimate nail in the coffin to Tottenham Hotspur. There is nothing left at this club. There's no heart. There's no soul. There's nothing. What would you do if you're Harry Kane? Would you go to Real Madrid or stay at Tottenham Hotspur?
I would 100% go to Real Madrid. The chance of winning La Liga, chance of winning Champions League, actually doing something. But what do you think do you think Daniel Levy will keep him for 1 year of his contract and then try and offer him a new contract like 500, 600K a week? What do you think? If Real Madrid come in for Harry Kane and he doesn't go, what does that say about Harry Kane then?
It's not Harry Kane's fault. Harry Kane's playing for I totally get where he's coming from. Why would he want to sign a contract with the devil? Why? Who wants to sign a contract with the devil? Once you sign a contract with Levy, he'll milk you so hard that your teeth will hurt. And the fact is, right, why would he want to do that? He's got a year to go. Let him play it out. If Harry Kane's done absolutely right, he's done right by the fans, he's done right by us, he's tried his best, but he is dancing with the devil. And that man is a devil. Why would anybody in their right minds want to sign another contract with someone like Daniel Levy, who's only interested in one thing, and that is as much money as he can get his hands on? And if Harry Kane is his cash cow, they'll cash in that cow. And that's what it's all about. There is nothing else to worry about here. The Tottenham Hotspur has never been about winning trophies, about winning anything else. It's about lining people's pockets. And Harry Kane is a pocket liner. He scored 30 goals this season. That puts another 20 million on his price. And Levy's going to milk it because that's what he does.
So you think if Real Madrid come in with a decent bid for Kane, you think he'll go? Definitely he's going to go.
I don't think there's anything to do with Kane. It's all to do
No,
with...
it is. Kane can refuse to go, say, I don't want to go. I've got a year left on my deal.
Why would he refuse to go? Would you sign a new contract with someone like Levy?
This is my question to you. If Real Madrid come in with a bid that Levy accepts, you still need the player's permission or approval for him to go. Do you think he'll go, or will he stay at Tottenham and see out the year and go for free?
He will go, just like you would go, just like I would go, and he'd run so fast, right? He'd probably swim the English Channel to get away from Levy.
Or we could have another gentleman's agreement with Levy to stay on for another year, and then he'd let him go for free or something. Yeah,
Levy would never let anybody go for free.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So you think he's going to go? It's going to be a sad loss, but I think it'd be great for the best club in the world, Real Madrid, to come in for Harry Kane. They've already taken Bale and Modric. It'd just be another one in the Tottenham production line they take.
Yes, exactly. I mean, I'm very sad to stay at this club. There is absolutely nothing there for us to work with or anything to do, and it is very, very bad. Very, very bad.
That means your mate Richarlison will be leading the line next year.
Yeah, that tells you exactly where we're going to end up, right?
Yeah.
So let's look forward to fighting Luton for relegation.
Yeah. Okay, Cam, great stuff. Appreciate that. I know you've got to get away. You're really busy. Final thoughts from you before we close the podcast. And
yeah, so as Postecoglou headlines next season, saves Tottenham from relegation. Whilst he brings in
that's an achievement. If that's an achievement, that's an achievement. If he saves Tottenham,
that will be an achievement in itself. Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Speak to you soon on the next podcast. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.